Hi, if you're here, that probably means you have some questions about putting your home or other real estate into a trust. Hi, I'm Chuck Roulet. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in both Florida and in Minnesota. And today we're going to be talking about that. Now, before we do, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and bell notification so you'll know when we upload a new video, and go ahead and share this video out. And if you have any questions on wills, trusts, healthcare directives, powers of attorney, how to minimize estate taxes, protect assets, or even protect your home and life savings from long-term care and nursing home costs, post your question in the comments below, and I may answer that in an upcoming video. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to share a couple of free resources with you that we've created where you can learn more. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of putting your home or other property into a trust. And we're going to start with the cons first. Now, the first con you need to be aware of putting a home into a trust is obviously cost. Now, generally speaking, setting up a trust versus, say, just using a will-based plan usually involves more legal work. And as a result, setting up a trust is usually a bit more expensive upfront than setting up a will. Second, if you're going to put a home or other property into a trust, you need to have a deed prepared to transfer that property into the trust. And if you have multiple properties, potentially multiple properties in multiple states, or homes in more than one state, there's obviously going to require more deeds and possibly even the involvement of attorneys in other states to get those property transfers handled. Now, generally for our clients, we take care of that as part of setting up their plan. Another con to be aware of is if you refinance your property or you sell it. Now, depending on the bank or closing company you use, usually they're able to handle that by themselves, but occasionally the bank or closing company may require a lawyer or the firm who created your trust to provide some additional paperwork to them as part of that purchase, sale, or refinance. Now, in our experience, it's usually a few $100s, but it's just something to be aware of. So those are some of the cons of putting a home or property into a trust. Now we're going to discuss some of the advantages. So the first advantage to putting a home or property into a trust is it avoids probate. So generally speaking, if you own a piece of property in your own name, it's going to require your family to go through probate upon your passing to transfer ownership of that piece of property. However, if you put it into a trust ahead of time, then your family doesn't have to go through the probate process. And depending on what state you're in, that can be 3% or more of the value of the assets triggering probate. It can also take a significant amount of time. So there's usually significant cost savings by having your home and other property in a trust to avoid probate. Now, on that same point, second advantage is obviously privacy. So if you're going through a probate proceeding, that's completely public. By having your property and other assets in a trust and avoiding having to go through the probate process, it keeps your affairs private. Another thing to be aware of is if you own more than one piece of property in more than one state. So for example, many of my clients own multiple homes or other property, whether that's a lake home or a piece of farmland in an adjoining state, or like many of my clients, you own a home in Florida as well, where you spend the winters, and then you also have a property up north where you spend the summers. So if you own property in more than one state, you should seriously consider setting up a trust to own all of those properties. Because if you don't, again, probate would be required in each state where you own property. So you're looking at probate in each state where you own a piece of property, which really is more expensive, time-consuming, and stressful for your family. So by setting up a trust and having all of the properties in that trust, your family avoids having to go through the probate process in multiple states. Another pro of having property and other assets in a trust is it allows faster access to your assets upon your passing. So since probate can take months, possibly even years, having your home and other assets in a trust can allow family members more immediate access to funds to help pay bills and things upon your passing. And it also allows them to step in and to begin immediately managing your assets rather than having to wait until they've got authorization from a probate court to do so. Another advantage of having a property, a home or other property in a trust is it can allow you to provide for a partner or maybe another family member. So for example, if you wanted to provide a period of time for a surviving partner or other family member, maybe such as a child, to live in that home after your passing, a trust can allow you to specify and provide guidelines on who can be there, how long, how the costs are going to be covered, and it gives that person more time to find a place of their own and to get back on their feet, as it were, if something were to happen to you. Another advantage of having your home or other property in a trust is you get to ensure that the home goes to whom you want, okay? So there are many reasons why you may not want to leave a home or piece of property to a surviving spouse, for example. So if you were to leave everything to your surviving spouse and they were to remarry, okay, and then they were to pass away, it's possible that that home or property could end up going to your surviving spouse's new spouse and their family. So by holding that property in a trust, you can ensure that that property doesn't end up going somewhere you didn't intend. The next advantage of putting property into a trust sort of follows from our last one. You can protect an heirloom property. So again, just as in our last example, if you have a lake home, a cottage, a family farm, a beach house, or another piece of property, and perhaps you inherited that from a parent or grandparent, by holding it in a properly designed trust, you can ensure it never goes to someone you didn't intend and would not want to have it. Another advantage of putting property and other assets into a trust is, well, it can help to minimize or even avoid estate taxes. So if the total value of your estate is above either the state and or the federal estate tax threshold, a certain type of trust, specially designed trust, can hold that property and help to minimize or even avoid estate taxes. Finally, another advantage of putting your home or other property into a trust is asset protection. Again, certainly, certain specially designed trusts can protect your home and other assets from potential lawsuits and creditors you may have. A trust could also help protect your home and savings in the event you or a spouse were to require long-term care or nursing home costs. So while this is not an exhaustive list, you can see that for most clients, usually a trust is a better vehicle. Usually, you'll see the pros usually outweigh the cons, and the trust tends to be the better vehicle for holding a home, other real estate, and other assets. So if you have found this helpful and you'd like to learn more, I'm actually hosting a free online masterclass where we're going to get into insider strategies for making it as easy and inexpensive as possible for your family to manage your affairs in the event you become incapacitated or pass away. We're going to talk about powers of attorney, healthcare directives, wills versus trusts, how to protect assets you leave for a spouse. We're going to talk about strategies for minimizing taxes. We're going to discuss how you can protect the money you leave for your children and grandchildren in the event they get divorced, get sued, have creditors' claims. And I'm going to share some of the strategies I use with my private clients. And if you would like to learn more about how you can protect your home and your savings from long-term care and nursing home costs, I've written a free guide, Save Our Home, How to Protect Your Home and Savings from Long-Term Care and Nursing Home Costs. And there's a link in the description below. Again, it's free. You can download that. So again, there's links for both the masterclass and the free consumer guide in the description below. You can download those. And if you would like to contact us to either update your existing plan or to get a new plan in place, we'd be happy to assist you. And there's a link to our website below where you can contact us. So I hope you found this information helpful. I look forward to seeing you in an upcoming video. Be well.